guys, what's going on here? Why am I? Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge. My daddy told me a man needs to treat you right. He needs to handle and service you in whatever way you need service. Let me tell you one thing that KeKe don't need. Money.
A lot of men think that they are it. They are the prize. They have to get chose. They can make the decisions. It's them.
Well, if they're getting
what we do,
if they're getting chose, then I don't see how their reality tells them that's what it is.
Right, but they think that 5 girls, women, whatever, choosing them is they're top. They're him. That's it. But that's not really
the reason why a man would think that. Like, say 5 beautiful women want him. You know how choosy women are.
Yes.
So if 5 choosy women choose on one guy,
then he gotta tell 4 of them, all right, I'm good, I got 1. The thing
but how is that?
They're gonna choose all 5. That's my point. Men are gonna choose all 5.
Because that's how we're wired to be.
Yeah, but for what? Why?
But what if all 5 girls is giving him the same thing? What if one of them aren't sticking out?
You have to pick. This isn't polygamy.
But look. When a woman's being wined and dined by multiple men at the same time, does she have to pick? Or does she have the right to allow all those men to prove themselves?
Okay.
You gotta say yes or no.
Okay, I'm gonna let you answer that. Go over there real quick. Okay, I'm not gonna hold you.
Do it. So, like...
But you just said you're in a season of
I'm
having...
Tell us the truth!
You know, man, we live in a world where people believe that a man should always be the savior to a woman's life. You know, everybody's promoting that a man shouldn't have a problem with wifing up a woman who got kids by other men. But you never hear anybody saying a woman should be willing to go be with a man who has multiple kids by multiple women. It don't even get mentioned. And then the same women who have multiple kids by multiple men will say they want a man who ain't got no kids. And they'll say it proudly, like it's logical, like it makes sense. But I'm telling y'all what I know. I know a few very successful women who are married to men who don't make a lot of money. And those women are very supportive, and they allow those men to use their resources to chase their dreams. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes these aren't young men. They just want to support a man's dreams. So a lot of times what y'all got to understand is these women that always judge a man by how much money he make, they broke. If money comes up in a conversation with me and a woman, dog, that's my last conversation with her. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's listen to KeKe Palmer, who makes a lot of sense. Because for me, as a P, I wouldn't have tripped when she was out there rocking out with Usher like that. I would have tripped if she ain't get no money out of him. I would have tripped if she ain't get him on a song. If it didn't benefit us financially in no kind of way, then I would have tripped. But it did benefit her financially, because at that point, if she was going to do that, we would have talked about it, and she would have had a project that dropped the very next day. The very next day, while that joint was going viral, we'd have had an album out. You know what I'm saying? We'd have had an album, or we'd have dropped a new couples podcast, or some would have popped off behind that. But my mind would have been on how can I manipulate this situation and pimp it. But Darius Jackson wasn't on that. But now let's listen to her discuss how it's okay for a woman who get money to find love wherever she can find it. Because what she's realizing is a man who got money don't want a woman who with money. I've been telling y'all for the longest, when a woman has money, she needs a man who ain't got none. When a man has money, he needs a woman who ain't got none. You know what I'm saying? If money is your superpower, you need someone that's going to appreciate that the most. But let's listen to her, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge.
No, I live for Stedman, but you know that Stedman has for many decades been the butt of jokes.
Yeah, because of gender rules.
Yes.
People feel like because she's Oprah Winfrey, who did y'all want her to be with, Barack Obama? That doesn't make sense, guys. I mean, I feel like that's the weird thing about powerful women, what we're left with. So I'm supposed to find love, but he's got to have a certain amount of money, but at the same time, I got to still be like, guys, what's going on here? Why am I? Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge. No one cares.
No one
cares. And I frankly don't care. If that's who you love, that's who you love. Why do we have to deal with that?
Yes.
That to me makes no sense. I ain't never look. My daddy told me a man needs to treat you right. He needs to handle and service you in whatever way you need service. Let me tell you one thing that KeKe don't need.
Money.
From nobody. Now, if you want to give a little something and get my nails done, something cute,
But
I'm
shouldn't
fine
they
with
do
it.
that? But shouldn't they make that effort,
Yeah.
KeKe?
But you might still look like Stedman to the world, and that's a great role.
And that's a great role.
Because if I was married to, I was with Oprah Winfrey,
right. You just be sitting up there waiting.
Chilling.
Yeah,
and
chillaxing.
Stedman, by the way, Stedman's esteemed.
Yeah.
Stedman
And
has a whole
He
career.
does
He's
have a
just
whole
not
life.
Oprah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the fact that how dare people compare you to your lover?
Yeah.
I hate that Oprah had to endure that.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that she
Yeah.
had to endure that.
It's
and I
true.
hate that Stedman had to endure that. And that's why I said what I said, because you had a good role. Mm-hmm. You were supposed to be my Stedman.
Yes.
Come on.
He was.
When I played that for my dad said, yeah, because why did he want to be Stedman?
So when you hear this, you must understand that Stedman's been with Oprah forever. And Stedman is rich. He was worth $10 million when I was 20. You know what I mean? He was worth $10 million back then. I'm telling what he's worth now. But at being worth $10 million, you ain't got to chase this woman for her money. You know what I mean? Now, she got more money than you, but she can't big boy you for no money, because I'd be cool with my $10 million net worth, and I'm cool with that. But you got to understand that a woman of Oprah's caliber is not going to be with a wealthy man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs a support system. So if you're the breadwinner, you need a support system in your spouse, in your mate. You know, when you look at B and you look at J, once B and J got together and B started running it up, when he took over her career, J stopped dropping music. He would put something out whenever he felt like it, but he wasn't even putting it out to run up the numbers no more. He became a businessman. So there was only one star in the house. There was only one hugely public figure in the house. Now, Jay's a public figure, but you know what I mean. There was only one person in the spotlight for their career, and it was B. You got to have that. That power couple thing, it only works in a vacuum. It's give and take. It's yin and yang. Two people can't be on the same trajectory and think they're going to make a relationship work. So when you hear a woman like KeKe Palmer say this, she's just simply saying that men who have money aren't looking for a woman like her who has money. Men who have money are looking for a woman who's going to submit. I'm talking about absolutely submit, who has no other priority. Listen, if I got a woman and I'm grinding the way I do, I need her to be absolutely submissive. I need her to take care of all the things that I need to be taken care of. I don't need her to be gone in her career somewhere where she can't take care of these things. I don't need her to be touring. I don't need her to be on set shooting a film. I don't need her to do none of that. When you look at Will and Jada, now that's not the couple that we want to talk about, but if you notice, when Will and Jada got together, Jada started fading back out of the spotlight, being in movies and all that. She was rarely in movies. You know what I'm saying? You can count the movies she's been in on your fingers. While Will has been blowing up, it has to be that way. I think she put roots on that boy or something, but what I'm saying is this is the way it has to be. That's how things work. Like these women be talking about they want a man who gonna pay all the bills, but then they still want to go out and make money. No, when you paying all the bills, back in the day when a man was paying all the bill, the woman was at home taking care of home. That's what she was doing. She was taking care of home, but she was really taking care of home. She was cooking all that man meals. She was cleaning. She was taking care of them kids. These women today, they want you to go pay all the bills, and then because they choose to go out and work, they want you to come home and help with the kids too. No, I ain't finna do that. If I'm gonna do all that, then I can just be by myself. I can be by myself. You can be by yourself. The problem is by yourself, somebody's still gonna get you pregnant at some point. So all I'm saying is, in this society, we have to remember, especially as men, that relationships only work one way. There's not this multiple setup that relationships work. There's yin and yang, give and take. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. You'll never win a championship with a team full of centers, and you'll never win a championship with a team full of point guards. You know what I mean? You have to have a center that can ball, and you have to have a point guard that can ball. Everybody else, your wingman and all that, yes, those are the players that add to the game. But you got to have a guard and a big man that can ball. At no point in the NBA have you been able to win a championship without a 5 guard and a 5 big man. At no point. At no point. You know what I mean? One may get more prestige than the other one, but you can't win both. The Lakers wouldn't have won no championship without Magic and Kareem. You know what I mean? You look at the Bulls teams. The Bulls they won 3 with Rodman, right? Or 2 or 3 with Rodman. And they won a couple with the Grant boy. Grant was 5. People can say what they want. People can say what they want to say. Horace Grant was cold. You know what I'm saying? He was cold. And then when we talk about that, when you put Jordan and Pimping together, we're talking about, Pimping was kind of a big man. When we talking about those two, we can't talk about Jordan, and we also can't talk about Bron either. When you look at those two, those two may be the couple of outliers out there. But what I'm saying is this, not to get into a basketball tangent, but I want y'all to understand that you must have the person that fits into your life. And if you're a woman with money, then you need a man who ain't got much money. You know, we did a video with B. Simone earlier. B. Simone been spending all their time, her prime years, looking for a man who's going to take care of her. Well, what the hell I'm going to take care of you for and you making all this money? What I can do is come into this situation and make this money, make both of us ball. If you worth $5 million right now and I'm worth $10 million, baby girl, we get together and pool our resources. I promise you, we'll be worth $50 million at the end of the year. Let's just get together and work it out. You understand? This is the level we need to be on. But a woman has to be willing to understand that you're not going to be a money-making go-getter and still be catered to and taken care of you, or you ain't got to pay no bills. That ain't gonna happen. It's illogical for you to expect that to happen. But many of these women do. All right, I'm done with this one. Like this video on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on so you can be alerted to when I upload some more of this Prism of the Ism. And as always, Alpha's up, Beta's down. Peace.